Hello and welcome to the Car Killing Show, as 3 more vehicles are going to be driven flat out around the Bajarama circuit until they can, well, drive no more. We start today with the Basto. I've gone for a relatively high-spec model, the 423 Road Sport. Nice, powerful V8, manual gearbox, and apparently heavy-duty suspension. That sounds pretty promising when it comes to tackling this circuit, as, well, certainly suspension failure is a very, very common thing. In fact, most cars don't make it a lap with suspension failure. Kind of how long they can last with broken suspension is quite important. So yeah, if this can last a little bit longer, that would be nice. Certainly classic American cars have been a good choice around here. The Moonhawk survived 3 laps before, well, fire eventually saw its tyres burst and steering die. The Burnside made it almost onto its 4th lap, despite having lost a wheel at the start of its 3rd lap. It crawled around for almost an entire lap with 3 wheels. So yeah, these cars do tend to be pretty damn tough. And this, well, you would expect to continue that tradition. The rear suspension, however, I'm just looking at it bobble. No, that doesn't look like that heavy-duty suspension has lasted any better than normal duty suspension. That looks completely kaput. Well, that's less than reassuring. At the end of the day, it's not the radiator that's died at the moment. So that suspension going is an inconvenience, but it's not something that's likely to put me out of the course. Right, if we can get to a radiator, if we can now clear radiator springs nicely. Oh, we're not going to clear radiator springs nicely. We're not. Oh, wow. That's it. That's the Basto done. The drive shaft has gone before the radiator. That, I think, is a first. We have had quite a few cars go out with broken drive shaft. It's a fairly common thing to see cars killed with. However, that is the Basto done. Well, that's not quite what I expected at all. We are not the last place car. That honour still goes to the K-Series that was at Radiator Springs. This, having just about made it across the jump, yeah, landed, snapped the drive shaft. I mean, the chassis is not even that bent compared to what quite a few cars have had and kept going. Apparently, in fact, the truck that did a front flip made it slightly further. The Basto has. I think that drive shaft snapped just around the corner. The Basto's weak point is the drive shaft. We've hit that jump in a very similar way with a number of cars, and all of them have kept going. Might have killed the radiator, quite a common thing to have go at Radiator Springs, but they've all kept going. The Basto, the weakest point on this car is the drive shaft, and that is not a good thing to have when trying to survive this sort of a circuit. Well, with the Basto throwing up a surprise of sorts, we are hoping for a different kind of surprise with the ETK 800 series. I've gone for a mid-level one. Again, I'm kind of sticking with the mid-spec cars for the moment. All-wheel drive, turbocharged 4-cylinder in this, and we've got a nice manual gearbox, always helpful. I'm not massively confident, though. The K-Series had very, very weak suspension, snapped wheels off very easily, and this, I think, has a very similar suspension to that car. It might be a little bit beefier, this being on a sports estate rather than a sort of sports coupe. I'm not sold, though. We will see. I could be wrong. However, yeah, I suspect we're going to lose wheels, and probably lose wheels. If we can make it, if we can complete a lap around here, I will be astounded and quite pleased. That's what we're going for. I would like to point out I have had to take the traction control unit out. The traction control in this is the most interfery bugger, and it basically gets to a point where it stops the car from going above kind of 10-15 miles an hour at times around this dirt course, and that just defeats the whole object of this series. So from now on, yeah, traction control is going to have to be removed from the cars to stop it interfering with things. The first jump has gone okay. We've got a little bit of, well, camber and toe and a bit of a weirdness going on to the front right and rear left. A little bit buckled, but they've not fallen off, which is, I mean, could be worse. It's not a great sign that they've already gone. However, it could be a lot worse. Oh, no, radiator's gone. Radiator has gone. Oh, we're gonna land all of that, though. I think the ticking time bomb that is the car overheating is going to be nothing compared to the issues we are likely to have with the steering. Maybe it will survive. The rear right is now at all sorts of a wonky angle as well. Radiator springs, please clear this, otherwise we might be in trouble. Come on, Geronimo! Ooh, that was uncomfortable. Indeed, is very, very bad for the front left. Front left is gone. Front left has snapped. We have just about still got enough steering, though. We have just about got enough steering. Oh, the problem with the front left is not that it's snapped. If it had fallen off, that would be fine. The issue that we've got at the moment is that it is touching the ground and is constantly... Oh, we've had to bring it to a halt, and this is going to give us more issues now for clearing these sections, because we're going to be at all sorts of wonky angles and so on. Front left axle is broken. Now, if that can stay free... Yes, that's actually really helpful. As weird as that is to say, because we've now lost the axle driving, it is now not going to be pulling the car around with the wheel at a silly angle. It's just flailing on its own. Flail away, front left wheel. All you like. You're now irrelevant. It's the front right that's the bigger concern. We can lose we could probably not lose a rear wheel now. We'd probably be in issues if we lost a rear wheel. I mean, we'd still have drive, but we'd really, really be struggling with some turning. We've made it across the motocross section for the first time. It's still going. It's not going to last much longer, this car, though. As I said, if we can make one lap, I'd be amazed. To be fair, if we keep landing on the front left side, I'm okay with that. We can damage the front left as much as we like now. That is of no consequence to this car's ability to drive, unless we lose the other drive, unless kind of like the shock through the front of the car destroys the other side's drive shaft, or we twist on the landing. Oh, that snapped it. That snapped it. We can't go anymore. We have got no steering. Oh, we couldn't make it to the end of the first lap. We've lost steering. You can see the steering wheel wiggle, but both of the front wheels have completely snapped. I think we do still have drive to it, oddly enough, but the steering part of it is gone. The rear wheels were okay, but it's just they're not strong enough. They are simply not strong enough. The wheels on these cars, all the suspension and so on, the axles, etc., on this car to survive. Yeah, it's landing these jumps with a bit of speed, with a bit of force, but certainly no more than a lot of other cars that have gone around here. And this is having its wheels just, snap off completely. It's spectacular, and it certainly crawled around impressively well for a car with 3 wheels for a lot of that. However, it's just too easy to break that, and lose steering, that will very much be run over. Well, we are hoping for a bit better showing. It might be a very short video, if not, from our final car, the classic Pizza. I've gone for the 2-litre, was it 2-litre LX, I think? There we go, says it on the back. 2-litre LX version, kind of a bit of a mid-ish tier car. Front-wheel drive, not a huge amount of power in this one, however, maybe more strength. That's kind of the hope here. We might have a bit more strength to survive these bumps. We might not lose the wheels as easy. Downside being front-wheel drive is that if we do lose a front wheel, it's pretty much game over. Whereas with the rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive cars, you can just about get away with losing a front wheel. Rear-wheel drive cars, you can't really get away with losing a rear wheel. But, yeah, it's perhaps the least preferred of the drive lines here. Having said that, if we do smack the back of the car on the ground and we snap a rear wheel, it won't matter because the rear wheels don't do anything here. So, yeah, it's most likely to be the front, though, that takes damage. And I fear that this might not be quite quick enough to make it across there. That's okay. We'll survive that without too much damage. Radiator springs is going to be the big potential problem, likely problem area, let's face it, around this course, because we can't, so close but not quite fast enough to get across there. Front bumper is a goner. However, the good news is, as far as the wheels go, they are still in the right direction. They are still, the car's actually still tracking straight, which is amazing. Might not after that bump, but there we go. Oh, come on, accelerate down towards Radiator Springs. That's never going to be fast enough. That's not fast enough. We've gone for 1, 2, and a 3 roll over there. Yeah, that speed is not so great. The good news is that it's only radiator damage, and I say good news as loosely as radiator damage can be good news. It will mean that the car is eventually going to overheat. It's whether it can survive long enough to overheat and how long it will last without a radiator, essentially. We are now pulling a little bit significantly. Oh, God. Oh, bloody hell. It's tipping and turning and falling over again. We were pulling quite bad, well, starting to pull quite badly. Nothing is really pulling as badly as the 200BX that was, well, crabbing its way around the circuit. So we can deal with it wanting to turn right ever so slightly. Front wheel's still looking pretty good nick, though, considering we've had a couple of punishing hits, and that's not going to help matters at all there. Come on, Piza, we can make it. We can be I'd like to get a car onto the second lap today. That would be helpful. It would be nice to be able to... Oh, there's fire. Why is there fire? What's on fire? I haven't punctured the fuel tank. Why are we on fire? I remember the Comet went up in flames for seemingly no reason. That's not so helpful. Okay. That's something to look out for, I guess. Oh, come on, get back down on the ground. We're bouncing and bouncing some more. If that fire spreads, I think we're going to probably lose other functions before the fire spreads to the point where the tyres burst or something else gives up. But it's just disconcerting. It's not a very big fire at the moment either, so I don't know what it is that's gone up. Normally it's the fuel tank rupturing that will cause a fire, but that fire is very much coming from the engine bay, so who knows what we've set fire to. We are, though, by the looks of things, unless something goes catastrophically wrong here, we're going to make it onto a second lap. It's the furthest a car has got today. There is a small bit of fire and the front is completely and utterly shot. Oh, God. It doesn't really handle corners anymore. The rear left wants to lift up almost constantly when we're going around these turns, which is not great for lap speed, but lap speed is not the important thing. The fact that the car is still driving is the important thing. Can we get past the bolide? This is where the bolide would lose one of its rear wheels. Oh, we might have done some... Oh, we've done some serious damage to ours, but they are still on the car, which is impressive. In fact, that's not even going to be the right angle for... Oh, this is not easy getting the car back over again when it's so crumpled as this. Right, that jump did cause some issues for our... We're not crabbing amazingly. It did cause some issues for our car. Oh, we've got enough speed to still make it up there. Look at it wibble and wobble. There's now so little rear tyre on the road that the back end is going to bounce and fall over a lot. We're still going, though. We're still going in the Piza. The fire hasn't got any worse, which is kind of reassuring in an odd sort of a way. It's just burning away in the passenger side of the car. The front wheels still... well, doing their job, still dragging the car around the course. Is it going to propel it across? Oh, radiator springs, though. It didn't really the first time, let alone now that it's all broken. I suspect we might see some issues here. Come on, Piza! Oh, that's bad. That's really quite bad. We have put it in a neutral. Oh, it's still going. It is still going. It's now a lot more broken than it was. Rear left's gone. Rear left has absolutely had it. However, because it is so broken, can we maybe... oh, it might still be crabbing so badly that even we've lost the rear left and the front right are gone. We've kind of got two wheels vaguely functioning, but it is still going along just. Only just. But it's still on the move. Good God. This is almost... oh, piston rings are damaged. This is almost... I think this might actually be worse than the 200BX. I think this is... the 200BX, the wheels were bent and buckled, but they weren't actually hanging off and flailing. This is a front right wheel axle is gone. Oh, that might be problematic for more than... yeah. Ah, crap. It's dead. It's dead. The wheel axle dragging along, I guess, did more damage. Sort of, yeah, internally. Sometimes they can get away with having one of the front... these front-wheel drive cars with one of the front axles going. They can still get away with dragging themselves along with one wheel. Sometimes not, and this is very much a case of it being a not. See, if we stick it into gear, it kind of judders but doesn't really want to go anywhere. Oh, it's a shame that died. I would have loved to have kept going until the car overheated. It would have done, probably not that far away now. interesting suspension for the Piza. At the end of the day, though, so much damage done to the front of the car. The constant hits would bend and buckle the suspension, and it was going to get worse and worse as it went through. Eventually, being a drive shaft that would fail. Look at the angle that this car is at. That is not an angle a vehicle should ever be at. It is totally destroyed, this one. But that's kind of what you came to see with this series. Anyway, it is on to our leaderboard. Not a huge amount has changed at the top. The classic Piza does get into the top 10, just about, as it moves into a 9th. It was only a smidge further down the road, though, than the I-Series and the likes of the 200BX as well. Yeah, those front-wheel axles on a front-wheel drive car, when you snap one of them, you are going to be in a fair bit of trouble. Further down, we find the other two cars from this episode. The ETK 800 series would just ever so slightly edge it over the Covet. The Covet broke down in a fairly similar, on the same motocross section, but it was a jump earlier for that. And then we find the Basto down in 18th place. A poor showing indeed from that car. Interestingly, the two ETKs, both the 800 series and the K series, both died in exactly the same way, which would suggest their suspension is rather similar between the pair of them. However, that is going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.